Even though all he's done for me is look out for me, all he's done for me is try to help me, all he's done for me is try to get me to win. I didn't like the way he talked to me in this session, and because of that,
I didn't like the way he talked to me. Oh, he was mean. Boo, he was mean. He was mean to me. He yelled at me, he screamed at me. The end of TikTok's most hated weight loss influencer, Will Kelly, by RKH Media. Let's get straight to it.
I know with the way I eat, if I continue down this road, bro, I'm not gonna live another 10 years.
A few moments later.
Is that what you meant? Let me get a French toast slam, bro. Scrambled eggs, extra crispy bacon, another order of sausage, and then another order of crispy bacon. You heard me. And I know it's your first day, so if you get this wrong, we'll just tell the manager.
At first glance, Will Kelly appears to be another weight loss influencer documenting a difficult journey.
Okay, let me just get this straight. By the way, never. Okay, let me not pause right there. All right. Let me just get this straight. All right, making fun of anybody trying to get it in at the gym, trying to get that workout in, trying to genuinely do better for themselves is not it. We not on that. We not doing that. We're not making fun of nobody's grind. Everybody got something going on, so we not doing that. All right, we not doing that. That's not the type of timing that we on.
Crazy when I work out. I know I look nuts. It's a whole lot of flipping and flopping and booping and
That's
bopping.
fine, man. That's fine,
However,
man. Hey.
the deeper you look, the more
I ain't trying to see all that, but that's
story
fine.
becomes. Because on top of him being a man trying to lose weight, this is the story of a creator who repeatedly finds himself caught in a cycle of progress, controversy, backlash, and reinvention. Every time it seems like he's moving forward, something happens that sends the narrative in a completely different direction. That's why many critics have started calling Will TikTok's version of Amberlynn Reid. Now, Amberlynn built an enormous online following
I've never heard about her.
years of weight loss content that was regularly interrupted by health scares, personal drama, failed goals, broken promises, and accusations of misleading her audience.
I actually am a dietitian. I only have one client though. Which is
dietitian with Doritos, Locos, tacos, nacho cheese, like 4 of them right in front of you. Dietitian, right? Okay, all right. Okay.
And over time, the weight loss journey itself became secondary to the endless cycle surrounding it, and now many viewers believe Will Kelly is following a remarkably similar path. So if you've been living under a rock, count yourself lucky, because today I'll follow Will's rise from an honest and vulnerable creator who seemed determined to change his life through the restaurant confrontations, food-related controversies, trainer disputes, and growing criticism that transformed him into one of the platform's most debated personalities. Now, every internet personality has an origin story, and in Will's case, it began with something surprisingly simple.
Listen. I'm not gonna act like I don't know about Will Kelly. I know about Will Kelly. All right. He's a degenerate, disrespectful narcissist. Okay. All right. I know. I'm not gonna act like I don't know about Will Kelly. I know about Will Kelly. I'm not about to sit here and fake a reaction or anything. None of this surprises me. We're here to witness how his career comes to an end.
See, when Will first started appearing on people's TikTok feeds, he didn't introduce himself with a challenge, a prank, or some over-the-top stunt designed to go viral. Instead, he opened with a blunt statement that immediately grabbed attention.
Hey, I'm Will. I'm morbidly obese. I've been kind of bigger my whole life. Not kind of bigger. I've been big my whole life.
Not surprised.
But in the last 3-4 years, it got really bad. I went from being kind of just like the big guy at the party to my 600-pound life.
Damn, that's crazy. They brought him to the parties just to be like an attraction, you know, like a circus attraction. That's crazy. Hey, look at him. He big as hell. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. If I was in his situation, man, I just wouldn't pop out at anything. Like I just would not pop out. Nah, I just wouldn't pop out. I just stay at home, play my video game, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like eating my food. I'm chilling. I'm not popping out to anything. That's crazy. He became a whole attraction. Nah, that's insane.
filled with carefully edited photos, flattering camera angles, and creators presenting polished versions of their lives. However, Will was doing something different by placing one of his biggest insecurities directly in front of the audience and inviting strangers to witness it. That level of vulnerability naturally attracted attention because people are drawn to stories that feel personal and genuine. In those early videos, Will claimed he weighed more than 630 pounds, and he described daily struggles that many viewers had never experienced firsthand, including difficulties walking long distances, trouble sleeping comfortably, constant exhaustion, and the physical limitations that came with carrying such a significant amount of weight.
My legs swole
My
up.
thing is, like, if you're that big, why are you centering your content around going to different fast food spots? Like, that seems kind of like counterintuitive to me. I don't know. Like, don't you want to lose the weight?
When I would lay down, the fat around my neck would suffocate me. Anytime I would like go to sleep, I would start to, you know, feel like I couldn't breathe and have to wake up. I couldn't wipe myself because my arm literally like couldn't fit around my body. So I would have to like take a toothbrush and wrap toilet paper around it and kind of use that as like an extension of my arms to get the feces out.
One of the comments that frequently
I did not need to hear that. I did
viewers
not need to hear that, man. Oh, this is gonna be a long video. I did not need to hear that. I really didn't. I never could have imagined anybody would even like. Wow, I never thought about that. I guess when you're that big, you got to be a little creative when it comes to certain things because you just physically cannot do certain things, you know. Wow. Okay, let's keep it going.
Was his description of driving, where he joked that his size made him feel like he was dry humping the steering wheel. The phrase
gotta say it like
crude,
that.
but it was memorable, and it painted a vivid picture of the reality he claimed to be living every day. And as clips spread across TikTok, many viewers found themselves rooting for him, because Will, instead of presenting himself as someone who'd already figured everything out, was documenting a problem in real time and inviting people to watch the process.
Every time I see someone who's lost weight, what they do is record the beginning of it and then record the end. But I think the real fight is in the middle. That's the real hard part. Day 1 is pretty easy and the last day is pretty easy, but like day 117 is, you know, that's where it gets tough. I figured if I put it out here, it would be easier for me not to quit also.
Praying you were able to get through this.
He seems so like regular, you know. He seems so, I guess, genuine in the beginning before he started getting into like whatever else he started getting into, all the degeneracy, all the disrespect, you know, all the entitlement. He definitely seemed, I don't know, he just gave off some energy, like definitely a cleaner, purer, if that's a word, more pure energy.
You got this, man. Sending some good energy and luck. You
Look
look
at
like
that.
a gorgeous teddy bear. I hope you can do what you want for yourself.
Positive
He spoke about
comments.
hiring a trainer, improving his health, and working toward meaningful weight loss goals. At various points, he claimed
the
he had already
Popeyes and
lost
the drink in the
significant
hand,
amounts of
man,
weight,
nah.
including over 100 pounds from his highest reported weight.
Don't get me wrong, I like me some Popeyes, but like if you that big, man, you gotta, you might gotta lay off that, you know what I'm saying, for a good, I don't know, man, good like that big, a good like couple years type shit.
That narrative resonated because it tapped into something almost universal, as most people have struggled with something they wanted to change, whether it was their health, finances, habits, or confidence. And watching someone openly tackle a difficult challenge created a sense of investment, and viewers wanted to see progress because it would represent
That can't be comfortable,
possibility.
man.
Around the same period, other weight loss creators such as Ethan and Saul were also building audiences by documenting dramatic physical transformations. Their content reinforced the idea that long-term change was achievable, and many people initially placed Will within that same category. The presentation of those early videos also played an important role in building trust, because the camera work was often shaky, the recordings felt spontaneous, and the confession-style videos lacked the polished look associated with larger influencers. Additionally, viewers watched him struggle to move, listen to stories about isolation.
Do you really need to take your
embarrassment,
shirt off all the time though? I just don't see how that's necessary, you know. I ain't trying to see all that if I'm being honest.
and heard him describe years spent dealing with shame, physical discomfort, and the emotional burden of extreme obesity. Because of that, many followers viewed him less as a person trying to rebuild his life in public. Nevertheless, even during those early months, small questions began appearing beneath the surface. Now, internet audiences are naturally skeptical, especially when rapid growth and emotional storytelling are involved. For this reason, some viewers questioned whether Will actually weighed more than 600 pounds, while others wondered whether the reported weight loss numbers were accurate. While supporters dismissed those concerns as unnecessary negativity and encouraged him to keep going, the discussions continued appearing in comment sections. There were also moments that felt slightly out of place within the otherwise raw presentation. One example frequently referenced by critics involved a microphone placement incident that became known among viewers as the mic clipped to the nipple moment. On its own, it was relatively harmless and even somewhat humorous. However, it introduced an interesting contradiction, because while Will's content emphasized authenticity and vulnerability, there were occasional signs that more thought was going into production and presentation than viewers initially assumed. At the time, very few people paid much attention to those details because the larger story remained compelling. The audience still believed they were witnessing the beginning of a remarkable transformation. They saw a man confronting years of personal struggles and trying to build a better future one day at a time. But, unfortunately, as the months passed, that hopeful narrative would become far more complicated, and the questions that started as quiet whispers would eventually grow loud enough to dominate the conversation.
He looks bigger. He looked like he got bigger. He looked like he gained an extra, like, I don't know, 50 pounds. He looked bigger. Am I tripping? Nah, bro, it's huge.
Surrounding
and bro, think about it. Those 600 pounds is crazy, dude. Like, that's, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Like, I don't want to make this about me, man. But sometimes, like, I be looking at my weight and I'm like, shit, like, damn, I'm really that. Bro, 600 pounds is crazy. Like, 600, nah, that's a huge number, man. That's a huge number.
Will Kelly's entire online career. And this is because for a while, Will Kelly's content followed a fairly predictable path. Viewers would see updates about weight loss goals, exercise attempts, doctor visits, personal reflections, and the daily challenges that come with carrying hundreds.
I don't think you guys realize how heavy 600 pounds truly is. It's unbelievably heavy. That's a very uncomfortable lifestyle. Extremely uncomfortable. I can't even deadlift near that. And I lift. Wow.
Hundreds of extra pounds. People followed because they wanted to witness progress. They wanted to see the next milestone, the next victory, and the next step toward a healthier life.
Anymore. I don't want people to put me in a box. I don't want to have to be the fat funny guy. I don't want to have to do the things fat people do to get acceptance from the world. I just want to be Will. I just want to be me.
Then stop being that. Simple as that. Stop being that and lock in. All right, this is your life. This is your own life. Only you could take these steps to truly lock the fuck in. But you just bullshitting. You bullshitting. You seem like you got even bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know who Will Kelly is, it may sound like I'm just dumping on him, like going hard on him. But no, he's genuinely he's genuinely a piece of shit. He's genuinely a piece of shit. I'll be honest with you. He genuinely is.
And that's what this is. That's what this weight loss journey is.
Then something changed, even though the shift didn't happen overnight. In fact, it happened gradually enough that many viewers didn't immediately recognize it. However, when people later looked back at the timeline, they noticed a clear
Get exclusive Mortal Kombat
transition. The workout clips became less frequent. The discussions about long-term health goals started appearing less often, and the focus slowly moved away from documenting change and toward documenting food.
Can I please have 2 hot dogs with nothing but mustard on them? Can I get 1 large fry, 1 large drink, and a chocolate milkshake? That's not a lot.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't really eat hot dogs like that, like at all, right? At all. You know, but I had a hot dog the other day after like not having one for like a long ass time. And I'm gonna be honest, like them hot dogs with mustard on it just by itself, just mustard, nothing else. Listen, I'm at the age where it's like I don't need ketchup, I don't need the extra shit, bro. Just if I'm getting a hot dog, all I need is some mustard, I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Now when it comes to the other shit, I don't know. Like he started throwing on like some other shit. Nah, he crazy. But if I'm gonna get a hot dog, which is very rare, I'm throwing some mustard on it, calling it a day.
What? For a meal? Nah, okay.
At first, the change seemed harmless. Instead of talking about what he was currently eating to lose weight, Will began creating videos about what he used to eat when he weighed over 600 pounds.
This is what I used to eat at White Castle when I was over 600 pounds. It's still dry and greasy at the same time. It was crazy.
Bro, White Castle is so bad for you, dog. White Castle is terrible, man. One of my guys, one of my brothers for real, he used to work at a White Castle. He used to say how nasty, like, and this could go for like any other fast food spot, but like, it's just like, just knowing about this, his experience at the White Castle, he would describe how nasty the conditions were. Like, I mean, they closed that shit down, thankfully, but you would never catch me at White Castle. I don't give a fuck.
Check it out. How's it going? Can I get 2 6-piece rings, a large drink, 2 large fries? Yeah, can I get an order of mozzarella sticks? 5. And can I get, what size do your hamburgers come in again? Okay, not come in 2s, or can I get 3? Yeah, let me get 3 cheeseburgers. The lunch rush is happening. Awesome, thank you.
On paper, that might not sound like a major difference, but audiences quickly understood that the tone had changed. Discussions about healthy habits naturally point toward the future, but stories about enormous meals from the past often pull attention toward the spectacle itself. And before long, viewers began seeing a new type of content dominate the channel, which was the birth of what many followers eventually nicknamed the Will Kelly meal. The formula was simple and highly effective for social media, because Will would walk into a restaurant with a camera rolling, approach the counter, and order an amount of food that immediately captured attention. Multiple sandwiches, giant milkshakes, oversized sides, stacks of burgers, boxes of cookies, or enough food to feed several people would suddenly appear on screen. The content was designed around anticipation, and the audience would watch the—
He names his videos what I used to eat, what I cooked at, you know what I'm saying, 600 pounds, whatever. But he's doing this shit right now. Like, he's still buying it. He's still buying it. Like, if you really wanted to show us what you used to eat, what you used to cook, you don't gotta actually go out and buy this shit because, well, you're wasting food. Nah, I know you're gonna eat it. I know you eating that food. I know it's not gonna go to waste. Them donuts right there, they are not going to waste. That bacon is not going to waste. I know that. I know it. I know it. Because if I buy something, you know, granted, you know, he does have a little bit of bread, you know what I'm saying? But still, I don't care. I don't care how much bread I have. I don't care how cheap it is. If I'm buying something, I'm not gonna let it go to waste. You can't fool us, man.
Order being placed. Watch the food arrive and then watch Will interact with it.
Oh my God, this is a lot of food, right? This seems like a big meal. No exaggeration, this is around 2,000 calories. If you don't know, 2,000 calories is what you're supposed to be consuming in a day. That's meals, that's snacks,
crazy.
That's everything.
Facts.
Naturally, questions followed, because according to Will, he was not actually—
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Let's go back a little bit. It's kind of crazy because see that meal right there? That meal right there, I'm being honest with you, like, he's probably right, you know, that makes up 2,000 calories, which is like the recommended to eat in a day. But I'm be honest, like I could mess that up for real. I could mess that up. I'll be honest with you. That whole plate, I could mess it up easy. Like I could eat if I really wanted to.
If you don't know, 2,000 calories is what you're supposed to be consuming in a day. That's meals.
See, this is why fast food is so dangerous, bro. Like you could consume so many calories just by eating like really not a lot of food for real. That's why like you shouldn't eat fast food like every day, bro. You really shouldn't. Like you could have a sandwich with some fries and it'll be like it'll make up over 1,000 calories easy. You know what I'm saying? Like up to 1,500. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing numbers around, but what I'm trying to say is fast food has a lot of calories for no reason. And it might not even really get you full like that. I know it don't really get me full. That's why it's so dangerous.
Snacks, that's everything.
Naturally, questions followed, because according to Will, he was not actually eating his food. Instead, he frequently claimed that the meals were being given away to homeless individuals, friends, staff members, or his cameraman after filming ended.
To be honest, but I don't want it. Again, I'm not eating this. I'm gonna give it away, but part of me's proud of myself.
The explanation became a recurring part of the content and eventually developed into one of the biggest sources of controversy surrounding his channel, because many viewers simply didn't believe it.
Meat, cheese, and bread. It's like a pizza sandwich.
You're not giving that food away, bro.
Hell no. He got his fingers all. Nah.
You're not giving that food away to somebody in need while you fondling all through that shit.
Facts.
You're giving that food
As
Facts.
the videos accumulated, audiences began analyzing them with surprising intensity. Individual clips were paused, slowed down, zoomed in, and examined frame by frame. Communities dedicated entire discussions to breaking down specific moments, and people pointed to videos where Will appeared unusually focused on certain foods. They highlighted clips where he repeatedly touched sandwiches, handled slices of pepperoni, smelled food, or interacted with meals in ways that sparked endless speculation. And one frequently discussed criticism involved the complete lack of evidence surrounding the alleged giveaways. While Will regularly claimed the food was being donated afterward, viewers noted that the actual handoffs rarely appeared on camera. And in an era where creators document virtually everything,
ate half of that.
Found the
He ate all of that. He ate all of that.
Where creators document virtually everything, many followers found the absence of proof difficult to ignore. But what made the skepticism grow even stronger was, despite starting the channel for his weight loss journey, his appearance seemed relatively consistent. Now, weight loss is complicated. Human bodies change at different rates, and progress is rarely perfectly linear. Nevertheless, many viewers expected noticeable changes if Will was consistently exercising while also avoiding the massive meals featured in his content. Online discussions frequently focused on facial features because significant weight loss often becomes visible there first. Yet many critics argued that they weren't seeing the kind of transformation they expected after months of content centered around self-improvement. As a result, theories began spreading as some viewers became convinced that he was secretly consuming the food after
100%.
filming. Others believed he was eating portions of the meals while minimizing how much he actually consumed. While some supporters continued defending him and argued that people were making assumptions without evidence, the debate itself gradually became larger than the original weight loss journey, and whenever these accusations surfaced, Will generally pushed back against them. Rather than accepting criticism, he often defended his actions and insisted that viewers are misunderstanding the situation, which made critics interpret these responses as doubling down, even though supporters saw them as attempts to correct misinformation. Regardless of which side people believed, the conversation increasingly revolved around trust, and that shift fundamentally changed how many viewers viewed the channel, because traditional mukbang creators are generally straightforward about their content because they order large quantities of food, eat the food, and build entertainment around the experience. For this reason, audiences know exactly what they're watching. In contrast, Will occupied a far more controversial position because the entire premise depended on whether viewers believed his explanations. And once doubt becomes part of the creator's story, it rarely stays contained for long because the questions surrounding the food videos would eventually spill into every other aspect of Will's online career, creating a level of scrutiny that followed him wherever he went next. And as questions about Will's weight loss journey continued to grow, another type of controversy began attracting even more attention. But this time, the discussion was focused on how he treated the people around him. Some of Will's most viral moments came from restaurant confrontations that spread rapidly across social media. Clips that became important because they revealed behavior that many viewers had not paid much attention to during his earlier content. Now, the setup was usually straightforward. Will would enter a restaurant while filming, often accompanied by his cameraman, and immediately the dynamic inside the establishment changed because employees were no longer dealing with an ordinary customer. They were dealing with a content creator whose audience could potentially number in the hundreds of thousands. One of the most discussed incidents involved complaints over Italian seasoning and frustrations surrounding customer service, and another centered around lengthy wait times that Will believed were unreasonable, even though it wasn't that long.
What?
If you still wanted the Italian seasoning on there.
I believe I ordered my sandwich about an hour ago. So now we're just figuring out the Italian seasoning out?
It's about 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes? I think you ordered that 5 minutes ago. Oh, wow.
What had begun as
he ordered it 5 minutes ago and he was talking about, oh, I waited an hour. It's disgusting.
Will's unjustified customer complaint gradually developed into confrontations that many people felt were unnecessarily hostile toward workers who had little control over the situation. Unfortunately for Will, the footage generated...
I've never heard about that. Is that real? Did he get his ass beat? Like, for real? I ain't gonna say nothing.
Created a reaction very different from what he likely expected, as many viewers didn't see someone standing up for himself. Instead, they saw employees attempting to manage busy shifts while being recorded and criticized on camera. Because restaurant workers often have no authority over staffing levels, food preparation times, inventory shortages, or company policies, a large portion of the audience felt sympathy for the workers rather than for Will. Even his own cameraman Santi had to step in and challenge him directly, telling him to stop playing victim.
The energy shifted.
The energy shifted. What did you do, bro?
I was just being myself.
Oh my God, Will, don't do.
Just being myself. Yeah, nah. If being yourself involves disrespecting other people, involves creating a hostile environment, involves I don't know, disrupting the workplace, maybe you gotta work on yourself. All right, maybe being yourself isn't really working, and you should probably change that. Maybe you should become a better person. Maybe you should become a better person, right? If being yourself is causing all that damage, maybe you should be a better person. Maybe you should work on yourself. It's called working on yourself.
Stop being.
And that's the problem. Everyone constantly tells me to stop being myself. That's the problem. All right? I just want to be me, man. Can I be me?
You can't be you at the expense of others. All right? You can't. You just can't. It is what it is. You got to be a better person. There's nothing wrong with being yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with it at all. At all. It's actually like, you know, it should be encouraged. Everybody's their own person. You know, we should definitely have more, especially in these times, we should definitely have more individuality. That's a fact. But if you are, quote unquote, being yourself, right? And like I said before, it's harming others, or you're just being a nuisance, you should work on yourself. All right. It's called behaving yourself. Okay. He's starting to piss me off.
Start being a little bit more open-minded to people's feelings, man.
What are you talking about, man?
Now, nobody said he could not be himself, but if him being himself meant making others uncomfortable, someone had to put him in his place, and that's where Santi came in.
So when I went in the washroom, he seemed like he was okay. I came out, and it seemed like you, like, literally...
I was joking with him.
What did you say to him, though?
I don't remember.
So you gotta be careful what you say to people.
All right, is this one example, or do you see me consistently do this?
Multiple times. We had.
He's like a little kid. He's like a little kid. This is the type of conversation you have with little kids, not grown ass men. He's like a little kid, yo. Nah, man.
Before about you not being so mean, so like
mean.
Not mean.
I'm mean, sir.
Okay, I didn't. That wasn't
yes.
The right
Rude.
Yeah.
Not rude.
Yes, he's rude.
Annoying.
Oh my God.
It's not rude. I think it's just a point that he wants.
He's talking to him like he's scared. He's about to like go on a tantrum, or just start crying, or you know, he's talking like he's trying not to wake the bear. You know what I'm saying? He's trying not to trigger him. You know, he's talking like you gotta talk to you know, like he's trying to just mediate him. You know, like this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. If it was me, I'd say it straight up. Look, you being rude, man. You being disrespectful. All right. Yeah, yes, you're being yes, you're being disrespectful. You're being rude. You're being rude. You said such and such, and that's rude. You gotta keep in mind that other people have feelings too, and other people are human beings. Okay, what you say have consequences. Okay, all right. Be a better person.
Content creator at all times.
As expected, Will did not take this constructive criticism
Of course
lightly.
not.
My feelings are hurt.
His feelings were hurt too. And he didn't even know you from a can of paint, bro. Like, you just hurt the guy's feelings. Now he's gonna go on the internet and bash you. You're not the victim here, Will.
Santi has completely killed my vibe.
That brief statement quickly became one of the most quoted moments connected to the controversy, because criticism coming from strangers is easy to dismiss, while criticism coming from someone standing beside you carries a different weight. Santi worked closely with Will, filmed his content, and had first-hand knowledge of what was happening. For many viewers, this was the first time someone within Will's own circle openly pushed back against his behavior, and as clips continued spreading online, critics began arguing that Will appeared to treat public interactions as content opportunities employees.
I can't even enjoy how amazing these sandwiches smell. Look.
Every disagreement could become a storyline. Every inconvenience could become a video, and every worker risked becoming part of an online narrative they never agreed.
See, this is why you got to be careful when you want to be a content creator, IRL content creator. You still want to act as a human being. You still want to walk around with some dignity. Like, it's tempting to make everything a clip. Make you see something happening. Oh, that's a clip opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's easy, but you gotta maintain the sense of, humanity. You know what I'm saying? Some things like you just shouldn't really record, or just just handle it as a human being. And that's the problem. Everybody just want to go viral. Everybody want to have that moment, and it's all just like fake. It's all just fake. Like, just be a human. Just be a human. I know it's easier. Like, it's easier for me to say, because I'm not in that position. But like, just looking from the outside looking in, it's not cool. It's not cool. Like, it may get some clicks, but it's just not. It's really not cool. It's not worth it, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna respect him. I don't have respect for someone like this. Sure, it may be fun to watch. Give it 1 or 2 watches you share with somebody. Sure, but he's never gonna get my respect. I think respect is, at the end of the day, is more valuable. Respect offers more longevity than whatever this is. I mean, he's he already fallen off, and I just heard about him like not even a couple months ago, barely, I think.
To join. This perception led many viewers to describe his behavior using the phrase main character syndrome, where Will often acted as though his personal experience was the most important part of every situation, while the perspectives of workers, customers, and employees received far less consideration. As a result, the restaurant incidents became part of a larger pattern in the minds of many viewers, as they were questioning Will's judgment, emotional control, and willingness to accept criticism. And as those concerns continued growing, another conflict was beginning to emerge behind the scenes, one involving the very trainer who had been trying to help him change his life. This was one of the most important turning points in Will's story, because a fitness coach known by many viewers as Coach B entered the picture. For the first time since Will began documenting his weight loss journey, there was someone standing beside him who was willing to provide structure, accountability, and professional guidance, rather than simply offering encouragement from the sidelines. At first, the partnership looked promising. Coach B appeared to genuinely believe that Will could change his life, and many viewers shared that optimism, because they had spent months watching a creator who openly discussed weighing more than 600 pounds, struggling with basic mobility, and searching for a path forward. During this period, Will posted workout clips, discussed goals, and appeared motivated to take meaningful steps toward improving his health. Nevertheless, the relationship soon began showing signs of strain, largely because the role of a trainer is not simply to cheer someone on. A coach is expected to point out mistakes, challenge excuses, and demand progress, especially when the stakes involve a person's long-term health. And knowing Will, he was not the type to handle criticism that well, so it was no surprise when he announced he was parting ways with Coach B.
I fired my trainer. If you're someone who's been following my journey, you know I had a trainer I was very close to, Coach B. Coach B is the best trainer in Chicago. He agreed to train me for free, and I fired him. I sent him a text like a coward.
He agreed to train you for free? He agreed to train you for free? What? And you fired him? Oh. I can't even say fired, because like he wasn't even paying him. You parted ways? That's crazy. It's hard for me to feel bad for him. It's hard for me to feel sympathy for someone who isn't even trying. Like, wow, this is crazy, man. Like, wow. I have no sympathy for this guy. I have no sympathy at all. No, you cannot get an ounce of sympathy from me. No. Because if you're big, right? If you're big, it has nothing to do with him being big. If he's big, but he's actually trying, he's eating better, he's working out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's hard for him to, stick to a diet. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for him to be super consistent, but he's still trying. He's still trying. He's not giving up. Like, that's respect. It's pure respect. Like, for sure. But this right here, you get not a damn ounce. Not a single ounce of sympathy. Will Kelly.
Even though all he's done for me is look out for me. All he's done
Hold on. What did you say? What was that?
And I fired him. I sent him a text.
Hey, Coach B, let's pause on the workouts for now. I got a lot going on. I'll get back to you when it's a better time. You don't got shit going on, man. You don't got shit going on at all.
Coward. Even though all he's done for me is look out for me. All he's done for me is try to help me. All he's done for me is try to get me to win. I didn't like the way he talked to me in this session, and because of that,
I didn't like the way he talked to me. Oh, he was mean. Oh, boo, he was mean. I didn't like how he talked to me. He called me fat. He called me fat. I didn't like how he talked to me. He was mean to me. He yelled at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me. Get a grip, bro. Get a grip. Fuck.
Turns out Coach B repeatedly urged Will to stop looking for pity and start taking ownership of his choices.
That's real.
Taking his training
That's
seriously.
real.
But knowing Will, he did not take this lightly.
I tweet.
You
I just took 30 seconds, bro. My back is
you must be injured. You must be
I just hit 30 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
I told you my back was fucking spasming.
Yo,
Niggas in fuck Thomas. Stop fucking with me, Coach B.
And that's what I'm
Stop.
And that's what I'm looking
Stop.
for. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you. Thank you, Will Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If that's what it takes, thank you. You finally got some fire lit under you. Thank you.
Despite Will crashing out, Coach B had to tell him the truth because in the end, it was the only thing that would set Will free.
What you talking about fire?
Sure, because you want pity. And I'm not here to give you pity. I'm not here to pat you on the back. I'm not here to rub your head.
You don't need that.
Hold your hand. I'm not
You
here
don't
to
need
do
pity.
None of that. I'm not here for that.
Coach B.
I'm here to give you constructive criticism. I'm here to hold your ass accountable because ain't nobody been holding you accountable in 20
Word. Pity is comfort. Pity equals comfort. You're not going to get to where you want to get to being comfortable. You got to be uncomfortable. All right? You got to get yourself in these uncomfortable situations. You got to be uncomfortable. You ever heard no pain, no gain? That's a real thing. That's a real thing. All right? Don't go looking for pity. That's comfort. It's not time to be comfortable. It's not time to be comfortable. You're too big for that. Literally. You've been comfortable all your fucking life. It's time to be uncomfortable for once.
plus years, obviously, or you wouldn't be in a predicament that you're in right now, okay? And you came to me to get you out of that headspace that you're in, so you can add on years to your life and create some type of longevity.
Right.
But right now, with all the pity you looking for, all the complaining you doing, all the excuses that you're making, we taking turtle-like steps towards our goal.
For many followers, after Will parted ways with Coach B, this felt like the end of a rescue attempt, because the habits Will was trying to escape had developed long before the trainer ever arrived. Yet what made the situation even more confusing was how quickly the narrative changed afterward. One week, Will seemed completely finished with the people trying to help him, but shortly afterward, he was discussing therapy, personal growth, and getting back on track. These rapid shifts became familiar to longtime viewers and contributed to a growing perception that every crisis eventually reset into another attempt at the same story. Will's entire online identity.
I'm gonna just say this, man. I'm gonna just say this. Therapy is not gonna make him lose the weight. All right, therapy is not gonna make him lose the weight. It's not gonna magically take all his problems away. Look, man, there's a place for therapy for sure. There's a place for therapy, but there's some things where it's like you don't need therapy, man. You need to lock in. You need to completely reverse, completely change your lifestyle around. Completely. The way you eat, the way you think at this point, the way you move, you know what I'm saying? Like you need to change, you need to make personal changes. A therapist can only do so much. Change, especially that big of a change, comes from within. Okay? It comes from within.
Was now revolving around struggle, setbacks, and attempts at self-improvement. If the weight disappears, much of the content formula disappears with it. Whatever the explanation may be, the collapse of the Coach B partnership became one of the clearest examples of a pattern that would follow Will throughout his entire career. A genuine opportunity appeared, support arrived, progress seemed possible, and then everything unraveled before reaching its destination, making people question whether the chaos itself had become part of the strategy. And one of the most revealing moments came when Will openly admitted that he had spent time creating what he described as pandering content. According to him, he had been posting workout videos, diet updates, and other health-focused content largely because that was what his audience wanted to see. For some creators, a statement like that might have sounded honest and reflective, but many viewers interpreted it very differently. The reason was simple. The audience that originally followed Will had not gathered around his account because they wanted polished fitness advice. They followed because they believed they were watching a real person fight for his life in real time. The workouts, the diet discussions, and the accountability updates were never viewed as pandering by most followers. It was the entire purpose of the channel. Nevertheless, Will eventually concluded that he needed to stop trying to please everyone and simply be himself. On the surface, that message sounded reasonable, as social media is filled with creators who lose themselves trying to satisfy audience expectations. Unfortunately, critics argued that Will was using the language of authenticity to justify behavior that many people had already identified as harmful. To them, the narrative created a convenient escape route where positive habits suddenly became something he was doing for other people, while destructive habits became a form of personal honesty. As a result, viewers who had supported his weight loss efforts began feeling like they had been blamed for expecting him to follow through on goals that he had originally set for himself. At the same time, there was another factor shaping the direction of the channel, and that factor was TikTok itself. Like most social media platforms, TikTok rewards engagement above almost everything else. Comments, arguments, reaction videos, stitches, duets, and controversy all create activity that pushes content to larger audiences. Because of this, dramatic moments often spread faster than quiet moments. A confrontation inside a restaurant can generate thousands of comments in a matter of hours, while a routine workout video may struggle to gain similar attention. Many critics believe Will understands this dynamic extremely well, and whether intentionally or unintentionally, some of his most controversial uploads became his most discussed uploads. And as the months passed, his content increasingly settled into a familiar formula where massive food orders became recurring features, personal vlogs focused on struggles and setbacks, and the reaction videos addressed criticism or responded to ongoing drama. Yes, the weight loss journey remained part of the story, but it often felt secondary to the spectacle surrounding it. Eventually, Will embraced the image of someone who refused to change for the approval of strangers online. And while for some supporters that attitude represented confidence and self-acceptance, for critics it represented resignation disguised as empowerment. Either way, the channel had clearly evolved him as something very different from the journey that first attracted millions of viewers. Eventually, every discussion about Will leads back to this same reality, where the internet drama may generate headlines, but the health consequences are far more serious. Now, social media can turn almost anything into entertainment, and viewers can spend hours debating restaurant arguments, trainer conflicts, and viral controversies. However, none of those things change the fact that carrying 500 to 600 pounds places enormous strain on the human body. Medical research has consistently linked severe obesity to conditions such as sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and chronic joint damage. Day-to-day activities become more difficult as the body absorbs years of physical stress, and that stress accumulates across nearly every major organ system. Unfortunately, these problems rarely remain isolated, and they often develop together and create a cycle that becomes increasingly difficult to escape.
And that's why I said earlier, like it might be hard to understand, especially if you're not anywhere near being obese or anything. But having that much weight on you, that's a lot of weight, man. Like 600 pounds, that's a lot of weight, bro. And having to move with that, that's uncomfortable. I know for a fact that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. And this is coming from somebody who never even got heavier than like 230 pounds. You know what I'm saying? That was probably the heaviest I ever been in my life. You know, like 600? Yeah, you're crazy. You're crazy.
What makes Will's situation especially concerning is his age. He's still relatively young, which means many of these health risks are arriving decades earlier than they normally would. Every year spent at an extreme weight increases the likelihood of long-term complications, and the body eventually begins paying the price for that accumulated strain.
Even though you just farted.
It's known for making that happen. You're like releasing things in the body.
And spreading ass cheeks.
Lay down.
Time, man. Come on, man.
Awesome.
Nevertheless, the physical side of this story is only part of the picture because many observers have pointed toward possible underlying mental health struggles that may be influencing his decisions. Binge eating disorder, depression, anxiety, low self-worth, and unresolved personal trauma are frequently discussed within his community. While nobody outside his personal life can know exactly what he's experiencing, some critics believe his confrontational behavior and resistance to accountability may reflect a deeper fear of change, or a belief that lasting improvement is out of reach. That concern becomes even greater when considering his history with professional support. Trainers, therapists, and accountability figures have entered his orbit at various points, yet several of those relationships eventually ended in conflict. As a result, many viewers worried that he's attempting to navigate an extremely dangerous situation without the consistent support system that specialists often recommend. The reason so many people continue watching is not simply curiosity, as many genuinely fear where this road could lead. That's why so many viewers have started calling Will Kelly the male version of Amberlyn Reed, based on a recurring cycle of
I never heard of Amberlyn Reed.
Change, a period of optimism, a public setback, conflict with critics, and then another reset that restarts the same story.
Watch me weigh in for June. I weighed myself today and I am 518 pounds. That's a 1 pound decrease from last month, and I don't consider that any type of weight loss. That could just be...
So bro is actually eating the food after the videos. Maybe Will Kelly will finally become as fit as Coach B one day. Until then, if you found this video helpful, or if you think there's hope for Will, share your thoughts in the
Alright, man. That was the end of TikTok's most hated weight loss influencer, Will Kelly, by RKH Media. Make sure y'all go check him out. You know what I'm saying? That was a really good video. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much said everything I needed to say during the video. If y'all enjoyed, make sure y'all hit that subscribe, you know, like, share. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Follow the Twitch at Cloud Gyro. We be playing the game, we be chilling over there, you know. And yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.